Hey everybody, this is Steve Bisbee. Welcome to the first ever Steve Bisbee podcast. I've got our guest today, Sean Hofmann. He works with me at Hideaway Ventures. Sean is a class of 2020 graduate. He's been in RM 497 several times. We're going to talk a lot about Villanova today, but we're really going to focus in on making the presentation that you're delivering look really good. Sean, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing great. What did you learn from RM 497?
I learned a lot, man. It was, I came in my junior year not knowing anything about real estate or anything for that matter. So I learned how to underwrite. I learned how to put together marketing packages, market research. It was a lot of fun. Got exposure to all the asset classes. It was rewarding, and it was a strong base for where I am now and going into my internship my junior year, and it was awesome. So for all the kids that are listening, keep with it, absorb as much as you can because it is well worth it, and you can't ask for a stronger foundation if real estate is where you want to be in a career that you want to pursue.
Here's what we want to do. I'm speaking to you from the current headquarters for RM 497. And one of the things we did not do in our second class was go over your team's presentation from the Villanova case competition last spring. You did it in a Zoom environment, but most importantly, you were one of 27 teams that submitted a PowerPoint file. And then when you broke and got announced as part of the Sweet 16, your team was seated in the top four. So I want you to go ahead and share your screen with us, bring up the actual PowerPoint that you guys ended up using. And for the students watching, I really want you to notice how sleek it looks, how good it looks. So go ahead and just share your screen now,
Sure.
Sean,
Yeah, happy to.
and show us your first slide, and then we'll get to Lorena and I spoke in detail about her experiences in architectural engineering. We want to get to this rendering. So in the Coral Gables Miami case last year, and again, you can find this on Dropbox, you can find the actual case and read it over. In that case, there is no building rendering given to you. In fact, as the students contemplated a mixed use ground up development, they didn't really know what the mixes of uses were going to be. So Sean, why don't you just show us this slide and then walk us through your rendering and tell us a little bit about why you guys and how you guys chose this particular graphical representation.
Sure. So this picture was done by Hannah. She was an architecture student. We were able to recruit her for our team. Going through the competition our junior year, the importance of putting together a sharp, aesthetically pleasing package is important, and your numbers are also extremely important. It's a balance. You want to have the whole package. So Hannah was extremely talented, and she put our vision together. The rendering is amazing. She's unbelievable. So she was a great addition to our team. And I look at her as one of the reasons why we were seeded as a top 4 seed. Our numbers were good. Our marketing was great. So this is the rendering. It was so we were tasked with putting together a package for a 6-acre site, putting a land valuation together, and putting together a highest and best use development on the site. So this is just an overview of the parking garage and the entrance into the project, and then I will show you an overview.
Yeah, we can talk about when you get to the magic here, we can see that. And after you show this, Sean, we can talk about lessons learned, but just walk us through now what we're about to see.
Sure. So this is an aerial view of the project that we created. 600,000 square feet of office, hotel, multifamily, retail, all the asset classes, all the major food groups. So we put this together. We were also tasked with following the Coral Gables community and incorporating that into everything. So you can see the parking, the green space, the retail, really great looking, thanks to Hannah. And then now I will show you the video tour, which is the best part of everything. 11. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, incredible. So this is just a fly through of the whole development. Really impressive. The judges absolutely loved it when we presented. Unfortunately, it was over Zoom, so the quality, wasn't 100%.
So when you look at this, folks, again, this was not given information. Everywhere you're hovering right now was 100% created by Sean's team. And clearly the judges couldn't see this part in the first round when they're just flipping through your PowerPoint, but the judges could certainly tell that this team had its act together in that first round. And clearly, when they got to the final round, they got to this slide and were able to click on it and just talk as it's going through. So we're on slide 11 right now of probably a 20-25 chart PowerPoint deck. And it ends with the conclusion of the green space on the top of the parking garage. The guy's doing a push-up. We just did push-ups in class last night. So Sean, we know you did not win the competition. What were some of the things that you and your team learned having gone through this?
Yeah, definitely disappointing. We had high expectations. We were coming off of a first place win during my junior year. Our senior team won, led by Will Denny, Zach Perone. Phenomenal. So we had high expectations. We wanted to win it again. We wanted to go back to back. That was important to us, and we had high expectations. We were a top 4 seed. We were ranked in an individual bracket with other teams that were not, a top 4 seed. The thing that held us back from winning last year was there's always a central theme in all of these cases. In 2019, it was the Penn's Landing site and following the vision of the city and what they wanted to create. Last year, it was following the Coral Gables history, preserving the culture of Coral Gables, Mediterranean-style architecture throughout the community. So we were more focused on the financials, the market research, the bones of everything behind an investment decision. Unfortunately, we didn't get into the culture and the history of Coral Gables, which is a very important aspect of these Villanova competitions. These judges are looking for how well did you follow the theme that was given in the case. But besides that, I think we had a great deliverable. We had a strong team. We had Sean Hickey, who was a wizard on Excel and extremely intelligent with real estate modeling and financials. So I would say just follow the central theme as best as you can and incorporate the other important aspects like modeling and creating a sharp deliverable. But yeah,
awesome.
The central theme is important.
Very, very helpful. As we wrap up, Sean, today, would you simply scroll through some of the remaining slides after the hover scene, just so the students can see and try to get into your financials. Just keep skipping through so we can see them. Again, this is going to be on Dropbox, and we'll label it so you can see it. So we're still in the business plan phase at this point of the presentation, with a lot of photos, a lot of glitz to set up your judges. There's the timeline slide. One of the teams in Rothstein had a great timeline slide. This is a really, really good one. In a ground up development case, you got to have a timeline slide because your risk exposure is so high during your non-revenue periods. So to sum it all up, let's see a couple of these slides. To sum it all up, Sean, comment on when you guys said office and you guys said retail, or hotel. I don't recall you guys saying, and this is who the office tenant would be, and this is who the hotel flag would be.
Yeah.
Thank you. Looking back on not breaking out of that first round, what would be your recommendation to the students?
Sure, that's a great point, Steve. And it's been about a year since the competition. So yeah, they want to see a game plan. They want to see hotel branding and the large industries in Miami and Coral Gables that we would be able to attract for an office. You say office, we're going to build 250,000 square feet of Class A office space, but who's going to occupy that space? What industries are thriving? We didn't get into the weeds of that. We just said, hey, look, we have office, we have hotel. It's a mixed use project. It looks great, and that's all good stuff. But they want to know, okay, who's going to use it? Who's going to pay the rent? Where are these numbers coming from? How total NOI, as you can see on this page, $28 million. How is that being derived?
Yeah.
So that's important. So you need a strategy, you need a thoughtful process behind who your tenants are, what the retail mix is, and the demographic. Okay, you have multifamily apartments. How much money are people making? How old are the people? Are their families? So that's definitely something that we should have dived more into and explained to the judges. That's definitely something that held us back from advancing, unfortunately.
Well, thanks so much for coming out today. I think this is a real great benchmark for the students this semester to use to figure out what you need to do in order to get through to the Sweet 16. So thanks so much, Sean. And for everybody else watching, stay tuned for the next podcast. You don't want to miss it. That's the end of the Steve Bisbee podcast for now. Have a good weekend.